Thank you. Powerful stuff, hey? AI is such a big topic. And we humans have always been fascinated by automation. For years, writers, scientists, and tech leaders have been sharing their visions for the future, our future relationship with machines, giving us these superpowers and freeing up our time so we can do more of those things that make us uniquely human. Relationships, critical thinking, original thought, negotiations, and more. All those things that machines haven't quite solved yet. AI is once again making headlines. It's disrupting the way we work. And today, we will touch on some of those new technologies. But first, let's just take a step back in time. We're going to go back to the 9th of December, 1968, which is probably the birthday of personal computing and the internet as we know it.
If in your office, you as an intellectual worker were supplied with a computer display backed up by a computer that was alive for you all day and was instantly responsive, instantly responsive to every action you had, how much value could you derive from that? Well, this basically characterizes what we've been pursuing for many years in what we call the Augmented Human Intellect Research Center. We're going to try our best to show you rather than tell you about this program. Okay, there's Don Andrews' hand with movements of that mouse. I don't know why we call it a mouse. Sometimes I apologize. It started that way, and we never did change it. I'm putting in an entity called a statement, and that's full of other entities called words. And if I make some mistakes, I can back up a file. This file has one statement with a few words in it. Let's make more statements. I'll say copy that statement, and lo and behold, I have another one. And I'll move under there also bananas. And in fact, I could move a whole group under there. So I'm going to do something called jump on a link. And a link is something that'll go between files. So we put on a marker, a tracking spot that he controls. So he's sitting there in Menlo Park looking at this text, and he can point to it. But we've carefully reserved for me the right to control and operate on this, so my bug is more powerful than yours. Such as the camera mounted on mine is. Hi, Bill. That's great. Now we're connected audio. You can see my work, you can point at it, and I can see your face, and we can talk. So let's ARPA computer network, the experimental network that's going to come into being in its first form in about a year, and end up sometime later with some 20 experimental computers in a network, which would be enough so that I could be running a system in Cambridge over the network and getting the same kind of response on a CRT.
Doug was a visionary. His aim was to build tools not to replace humans, but to augment human intellect. And the underlying technologies and concepts shown there would go on to leave an indelible mark on Microsoft, Apple, and Xerox. Augmented intelligence has become one of the more useful forms of AI, man and machine working together. And since that demo, our interface with computers and machines has changed. It's gone from the command line prompts to the graphical user interface. Pros and cons for both. The text-based prompts does still play a crucial role today. It's fast, it's efficient, and you can script, used by power users, developers, technical system admin users, and so on. The trouble is, the command line approach requires you to memorize the commands, learn the syntax and its many arguments. And we see the same challenges when building software, building integrations, or managing business information systems. But it's 2023. It's the future, right? Everything is about to change. Welcome large language models. These models are breaking the boundaries between modalities towards a more natural and holistic human-computer interaction, a seamless collaboration between man and machine. We've all heard of OpenAI and ChatGPT-4, and there are many more in the pipeline. And it's never been so easy for us to see and experience the power of AI. And since 2017, all the sub-disciplines of AI have sort of consolidated under this transformer architecture, where large language models will treat anything as a kind of language. So text is a language, image is a language, music is a language, code is a language, and more. The AI can model it and generate it, creating these numeric representations, learning its patterns and its relationships. And this kind of makes sense, right? Because language has been integral to human society for thousands of years and remains the cornerstone of human communication. ChatGPT is a technical marvel. Fastest growing app in history, 0 to 100 million users in just 2 months. It writes poems, it draws pictures, it creates audios, and it's been passing exams, medical, law, business, programming, and more. Researchers claim it has the theory of mind, 24 years old, today better than the average adult. It's kind of like having a team of analysts working for you, albeit with a bad memory, but just think, the version you are using today is probably going to be the worst version ever. These things are going to grow in power. They're on a double exponential. And just last week, Microsoft introduced Cody. This model generates anything into anything. Maybe we are on the path to artificial superintelligence. Who knows? But OpenAI, the leaders of OpenAI, claim we will be there within the next 10 years. And what interests me is where natural language meets computer code. This kind of cognitive engine emerges. So while many of us have been busy using GPT to write poems, others have been building chains of text prompts, extracting, parsing, tokenizing to drive computer programs, instructions for machines. So here we're going from ambiguous natural language to generate a fully compliant construction model, documents, BIM models. Effort that would usually take 2 to 3 weeks worth of work, generated in just a couple of seconds. In this next example, we're using natural English to command drone inspections. Scary stuff, huh? This next example, we're using natural language to make requests from a robot. And in this most bizarre example, researchers in Japan generated models to reconstruct the brain activity into images, while they placed the humans into an MRI scanner and displayed various pictures. And the most exciting feature for me is to go from text to SQL. Why? Because the vast majority of our business enterprise data is locked away in structured relational databases. This is kind of like a cheap prompt to unlock those insights. But these models can also build context using embeddings, learning from our unstructured data, like documents, reports, emails, wikis, presentations, and more. So when you combine these two approaches together, you've really got some game-changing tools to unlock business reporting. So imagine, these models are experts in the domain of commercial real estate management, and by training these models on your own enterprise private data, buildings, assets, contracts, leases, financials, IoT, and more to fetch and reason, to provide invaluable insights and assistance. It's kind of like scaling human resource to hundreds of analysts. You do get to spend less time on the how and more time on the why. That's where the business value is, right? But of course, the framework needs to be secure and trusted and controlled. We don't want to be sending any of that private data to third parties. At Anacle, we see big opportunities to embed AI and language models into our core software platform to build this cognitive engine, this intelligent business application. For several reasons. One, we will boost user productivity when using the software. And two, there will surely be new game-changing capabilities emerge. So this context of business and data and AI is really where the magic is. We've been turning hundreds of hours into innovation, so I'm very excited to introduce 3 new capabilities that our team have been working hard on: Copilot, Insights, and Futures. So we've been focused very much on text to SQL, so text to query, text to chart, text to simulation. We'll start with Copilot. So Copilot is very much your AI-powered assistant. You can ask your portfolio any question, ask your database any question. You can generate emails, letters, contracts. You can perform system admin tasks, onboard new users, and more. And that was Insights, where we're going from text to chart, allowing users to interact with data at a contextual level, and these charts are generated on the fly. So notice the predictive nature of those questions, and really what we're doing here is going from text to SQL to AI-ready data sets to auto machine learning to predictions. And we're giving these tools, this automated process, to the everyday user. I'm sure over the coming months and year, things are going to change. There's so many opportunities and so many use cases to explore as we go on this journey. That's it from me, so thank you.